What's up, Red Wings fans? Welcome inside Little Caesars Arena for another edition of the Forecheck. I'm Daniella Bruce, and as always, I'm joined by Ken Kal, your Red Wings radio play-by-play announcer. We were just doing some math before we got on here. Ken, what, your 9th show of the week?
Yeah, it's been a busy week, but I did have a good St. Patrick's Day yesterday. I hope you did too, and I hope our viewers had.
How'd you celebrate? Did you have some corned beef sandwiches? What'd you do?
I had a radio show last night, so I'm still working. But it was still fun.
Yeah, that's right. All right. I did enjoy my St. Patrick's Day. Had a couple beers, not going to lie to you there, and then, of course, my corned beef sandwich stew for dinner. So we did celebrate the right way, and now we're back at Little Caesars Arena for some Red Wings hockey. The Dallas Stars are in town for the first time this season, but Ken, we heard in Morning Skate today that Bobby Ryan will miss his second consecutive game. Coach Blashill did say that he's hoping Ryan will be available on Saturday, and we saw that Franz Nielsen and Evgeny Svechnikov were both called up from the taxi squad. So all signs point to the lineup being exactly the same as what we saw on Tuesday. Evgeny Svechnikov would fill the role of Bobby Ryan. What did you like out of what you saw from Svechnikov in Tuesday, Ken? Because obviously it was good enough to get him a spot back in the lineup tonight.
Well, he just competed hard, and I liked the way there was a sequence where he was competing against his brother head-to-head, and that was really exciting. He didn't generate any points in the hockey game. He played about 9 minutes and change, but overall, you know, he doesn't hurt you out there, and I think he has a role on the power play as well, and he can be effective with the man advantage.
Ken, every time I check the Facebook comments on the Forecheck, we've got fans asking for an update on Tyler Bertuzzi, and I think Ken and I are wondering just the same that our fans are. We want an update too. Coach Blashill didn't give us much of an update, if you want to say that, but he did talk about Tyler Bertuzzi today. Check it out.
Not much, you know, like he's not skating right now, so he's gone back and forth between skating and not skating, and right now he's not skating, so that certainly doesn't make him close at all. You know, he's obviously then not practicing. You know, I think the first step is to skate over a longer period of time than what he's done. He's kind of gone in spurts of 2 or 3 days, and then this had to kind of come off it. So if he can go, you know, probably on his own, build up of 4 or 5 days and then into practice. So, I mean, he's you know, a ways out.
Ken, the Red Wings have been without Tyler Bertuzzi for 7 weeks now, almost 2 months, and it sounds like it's something that's lingering. As Coach Blashill said, he practices, I shouldn't say practice, he skates for 3-4 days, and then he has to give it a rest again. So it's something that's lingering.
Certainly is, and with that said, though, Jeff Blashill says someone's got to step up and take his position on the team, and one of those guys we'll talk about in a minute is Adam Ernie, but he's got some power play goals. But Tyler Bertuzzi is a guy that the Red Wings really miss, especially in the first half of the season, because he got off to a torrid pace, and when he left the lineup, that's when the Red Wings power play went south. And he's one of those guys that can get right out in front of the net. He's got great hand-eye coordination, and he can make things happen and score goals. And that was what the Red Wings were missing in the first half of the season. Luckily, the guys are starting to warm up right now.
I was just going to say, it seems like they're starting to find their groove now. Let's take a look back at Tuesday night's game against Carolina before we look ahead to tonight's game against Dallas. But the first period on Tuesday, Carolina got off to a fast start. They were on the power play early, which they're the #1 power play in the league, and this is Nino Niederreiter, who nets his 13th of the season.
Just a tap-in goal for Niederreiter, and again, we talked about Aho and Svechnikov and everybody else, but there's that man again. Niederreiter knows where to be right in front and pushed it home.
The Red Wings were on a power play of their own just minutes later, and it was Adam Ernie who's going to find the back of the net. Zadina with a good play to the net, too, though.
Yeah, and he's been heating up too for Detroit. I like the way he's been playing, but Adam Ernie, power play specialist now for the Red Wings, and popped that one home on the rebound. That was a great shot.
Power play specialist is right, Ken. That was the first of 2 that we'd see from Ernie. And on the next power play goal in the first period, Dylan Larkin was the one with the beautiful setup. So he's going to make the play. Philip Hronek finds Larkin. Larkin finds Ernie for a beautiful one-timer.
And look where Adam Ernie is, Daniella. He's right where he should be, in the slot, has an opportunity to pull the trigger, and that puck's not on his stick very long as he gets the feed from Larkin and bangs it home for his second power play goal.
Carolina is battling some injury, but they're definitely still a high-flying offense, so you can't count them out. As we get into the second period, this was just minutes in, and Sebastian Aho gets a cross-ice pass from Martin Necas. Aho's going to bury.
What about Necas, though? That was a great tape-to-tape pass to send it all the way across the ice from one circle to the other. And Aho, youngster as he is, has a lot of experience now with the Canes, just buried it. Beautiful setup, beautiful goal, and that was the Carolina Hurricanes right there getting on the board.
And here, Jonathan Bernier makes a huge play. It wouldn't be a Red Wings game if we didn't talk Bernier, but Robbie Fabry, look at his face. He's looking at Bernier like, you have that puck? Are you kidding me? I thought that was in.
What I liked about it, there were two Red Wings behind. One of them was Fabry. There was another player making sure that puck didn't cross the goal line.
So we've got a 2-2 game, and here comes Dylan Larkin. Robbie Fabry is going to be rewarded for helping out Jonathan Bernier there, but not without help from Larkin. He goes coast to coast, Ken.
Coast to coast like buttered toast. Right. I'll tell you what, he drops it back, and Fabry has that great shot, and that was a game-winning goal for Robbie Fabry. And since he's come to Detroit, Daniela, he has 6 game-winning goals, 3 game-winning goals this season for Detroit.
The Red Wings would head to the third period with a 3-2 lead, and Filip Hronek. This is coast to coast too, a different kind of coast to coast though.
You know what? Remember that goal he scored last year, and it was on a fly all the way down there. It was from the same spot. I think he really likes that. You know, like basketball players get to a spot that they like to shoot from. I think when the empty net is out there, that's where Hronek likes to be, along the goal line.
It has to be, and I remember that one last year stuck in the back of the net. Yes. As you said, it was in the air when it landed in the net. So that's pretty impressive. But an all-around impressive performance from the Red Wings. It may be the best game that we've seen from them all season.
They did everything right, Daniela, in that hockey game. And now the big point is you've got to match that up today with a solid effort as well. And I think the more consistent you play in the National Hockey League from one game to the other, you'll see your totals start moving up, your point totals. And so you can't have a letdown today. You just got to continue to play like you played against the Carolina Hurricanes and play against a very tough Dallas Stars team and keep that intensity up, win those battles, do all the little things right.
Can we mention some of our Red Wings players starting to step up, especially in the absence of Tyler Bertuzzi? Adam Ernie is one of those guys. We just saw 2 of his power play goals from Tuesday night. He has 4 points in the last 5 games. Only 5 goals on the season, but it seems like he's really starting to find a groove with this Red Wings team.
One of the things I like about Adam Ernie is he could have had 4 goals in that hockey game. I mean, he goes to the net like a power forward should. He's got size, strength. He likes to move that puck towards the front. And I like players like that. When you go to the front of the net, even if you don't score, you cause havoc in front of the net. And that's where sometimes you can get a rebound and get one of them dirty goals in. But I like Adam Ernie. He's been really coming on.
And we talked about Filip Hronek's empty netter, but we didn't mention that he had 2 assists on that game as well. So he is now on a 4-game point streak and can get this. It's 8 points in 4 games.
Yeah, multiple point contest for Filip Hronek over the last several games. And what I like about those assist totals is that even though he's not scoring goals, he's helping other teammates score. And that's a positive. And he logs 23 minutes and change of ice time almost per game, and he's got an edge to his game. That'll make him better defensively down the road, but right now he's the top Red Wing defenseman in my opinion.
Another tough opponent in town tonight in the Dallas Stars. As I mentioned earlier, the first time they're visiting Little Caesars Arena this year. Joe Pavelski leads the Stars right now with 27 points on the season, but not only that, Ken, he has 31 points in 39 games against the Red Wings.
And not only that, but this guy is a goal scorer. He always has been. He was with the San Jose Sharks. Get this, he was a 7th-round pick of the Sharks. And then he moves over to the Dallas Stars and really never missed a beat. A lot of times you see players stick with a team, then they go somewhere else and they fizzle out. Not Joe Pavelski. 383 career goals for a 7th-round pick. That says something about him.
He hasn't missed a beat at all, Ken, and he is especially dangerous on the power play. He has 14 goals on the season. 10 of those are with a man advantage.
You know what that means? Stay out of the box.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to say, I hope that's where you're going with this. And if you do end up in the box, there better be all eyes on Joe Pavelski.
Absolutely. You can't let him get open because his bread and butter is right in front of the net, and that's where he usually likes to score. But I'll tell you what, he's got a great shot, and he can score from anywhere on the ice.
Dallas is also battling some injury right now, Ben Bishop being one of those injuries. So he hasn't played in a very long time, hasn't played all season. Jake Ottinger has been stepping up in his absence, though. In Tuesday's matchup between the Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning, Ottinger really stole a point from Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay had 19 shots on net in just the first period alone, but only scored 1 goal.
Yeah, Ottinger's been pretty impressive. And when he first came into the National Hockey League this year, he's only 22 years old. I think he picked up points in 10 of his first 11 games. And recently he's been on a roll. He's got points in his last 3 outings and has really played well in his last 5. So they continue to get points. And that's the thing. They had to come from behind that last game against Tampa Bay to get a point against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So Ottinger's been a guy that's going to be busy. I expect to see him in goal tonight for the Dallas Stars. And who knows, maybe he'll play again tomorrow.
In talking
the next game.
Yeah, and talking with Saad Youssef, he said that he wouldn't be surprised if we saw Ottinger in both of these games. You just have to ride the hot hand. He also mentioned that Anton Hudobin could be some trade value for the Dallas Stars, and you know that the trade deadline is coming up just a few weeks away now.
Yeah, and look at the numbers there with Anton Hudobin, 14 games played, same number as Jake Ottinger, and save percentage, a little bit different for Hudobin, but right now you can say that the youngster Jake Ottinger has outplayed Hudobin.
Ken, looking at Dallas as a whole, what kind of team are they right now? I feel like they still haven't found that identity. They're not a great team. They're not a bad team so far in this season. They're 9-9-7. Where do you think they stand?
Well, I think they're a really well-balanced team, and they've got really good defenders that can move the puck up the ice, like John Klingberg and Mikko Heiskanen. He's a guy that can move the puck up the ice, but they've got some scorers as well, as noted. And one of the guys, I don't know if he's going to play tonight because he was injured in the last game. He was out in the morning skate, is Rupe Hintz, and he put up some really solid numbers during the playoffs, and he's a guy that when he gets on a roll, he can do a lot of damage. But they're pretty well-balanced. They get solid goalkeeping. And keep in mind, last year they started, I think, 1-7-2 on the season, ended up going to the Stanley Cup final and lost to the Tampa Bay Lightning. So they're well coached. Rick Bowness is a really good coach, and he gets the guys to play for him all the time.
You also have to remember that they're 9-9-7, but they've played 25 games when most NHL teams have played 29 or 30 games because they started their season a little bit later than everybody else.
Yeah, I was doing a little math here, and they've got to play 31 games in the next 73 days. Yeah. That's a lot of hockey, and they're going to have to catch up some ground on some of the teams that are ahead of them to try and make the playoffs. Right now, they're trying to catch the Chicago Blackhawks, who are in fourth spot in the Central Division, but they've got some work to do. And again, with injuries and everything else, when you play that many games in a short amount of time, it really takes a toll on the body.
We haven't even mentioned Tyler Seguin either. Obviously, he's a huge part of this Dallas team, and he hasn't been in all season with a hip injury. He actually had surgery on that. So he's expected to return. I think they said end of March, beginning of April, but I would assume that's a little bit delayed. It's a serious injury. A hip is a very serious injury, but he could add some spark for them if he does come back and play.
Absolutely. And if you get all the injured guys back that we mentioned, they could be a very solid club. But again, it's going to be hard to move up in the Central Division when you got teams like Tampa Bay, Carolina, who we just saw. Chicago's playing really well. And how about the Florida Panthers? Panthers are playing terrific. I think they're off to their best start in franchise history right now. They've got 19 wins. If they win tonight, that'll be 20, and that'll be the best start since 1995-96. So they've got some work to do, the Dallas Stars, if they want to move up in the standings.
Ken, the Red Wings have some more work to do too, and they are playing well. The last 5 games, they played two of those really good teams that you just said, in the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Carolina Hurricanes, and they've gone 2-2-1. So a good record against teams that are actually going to compete for a cup, even if you want to go that far. And now they have the Dallas Stars in town. How are they going to keep this going in tonight's game?
This is the end of a 6-game homestand for the Red Wings, and as Jeff Blashill mentioned a couple of games ago, right now they've got 5 points out of a possible 8 against really solid clubs in Tampa Bay and Carolina. What the Red Wings want to do is just finish this homestand with points against the Dallas Stars. Now, Dallas, like I said, they need to get up in the standings, but the Red Wings have played really, really well against those two teams. Can't have a letdown tonight. I expect the Red Wings to come out, play the same type of hockey. And what really worked for the Red Wings, Daniela, is where they go with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen, and they've really done well, and I think that's what they're going to do here tonight as well.
I would imagine we're going to see the exact same thing that we saw on Tuesday, Ken, and like you mentioned, hoping to end this homestand on a high note tonight and get a win against the Dallas Stars. The game starts tonight at 7:30, everybody, so make sure you're tuning in to Fox Sports Detroit with pregame starting at 7, or of course you can listen to the game on 97.1 The Ticket with your very own Ken Kal. But if you're doing either of those two things, you need to have the Home Turf app downloaded and be tuning in to Hockeytown Home Ice. Myself, Art, Carly, and tonight we'll have Darren McCarty joining us for
a great crew.
Oh, I know. It is quite the crew. If you want to have some fun, you definitely need to join Hockeytown Home Ice. And if you're a Michigan resident, you have a chance to win a pair of tickets to a Red Wings game this season. Ken, we know we've had some fans back in the building, and it has been, for 750 fans, the atmosphere has been great.
Yeah, it was really good, too, and I think they enjoyed the St. Patrick's Day festivities the other night. So I'm hoping down the road that number will go north, and it's just great to have fans back in the building.
Definitely. Better days on the horizon, everybody. But again, Hockeytown Home Ice, you can win a pair of tickets to a game this season. It's very exciting, and Darren McCarty's very exciting. So be on there. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Forecheck. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.